Hypixel Skyblock has had a lot of dupe glitches, and they're usually all fixed within a few days, but this duplication that happened on April 5th of 2021 was the downfall of backpacks. Today we are going over the Hypixel Skyblock dupe that cost players billions. And yes, I mean billions of coins. But before we get started, YouTube can be quite glitchy sometimes, and many people might think they're subscribed when they're actually not. So if you could just double check and hit that subscribe button, that would just help out so much. Alright, so how did everything start? That's actually a great question because I have really no clue. I'm not really big into Skyblock glitches and dupes and all that stuff, but there are a few groups of people who are dedicated to finding them. So let's start from, well, the start. On April 5th, it was a Monday and most people were on spring break playing Hypixel Skyblock. But then, the worst possible thing that could have happened. Most of this information is very hard to get as the duper is anonymous or just nobody knows who he is, and not many people know what's really going on. But the player who first discovered the dupe apparently duped a small backpack, and these backpacks only hold like 9 items total. But either way, like, this started the whole situation. Whoever it was decided to spread the word around, and it went from one person to a large percentage of the server, which obviously is not good at all. Everybody was duping. Well, not everyone, but a lot of people were. And then when the admins noticed, they instantly disabled backpacks. If you didn't know, tens of thousands of Skyblock players rely on backpacks for storage, and with them being disabled, you could no longer access the items in them. Later in this video, I will show you some of the players who lost billions of coins because of this. One thing though is that this has happened before, and usually the admins will fix the dupe within a few days and then re-enable backpacks. And that's actually what they did. Fast forward 2 days later and it's April 7th. The admins just re-enabled backpacks and many players were so happy and obviously just went on their ways like nothing happened. But a little less than 12 hours later, so many people were duping again, and how was this possible? I do have a few theories I would like to go over in a bit, but obviously when the admins noticed more duping, their backpacks were once again just disabled. This was extremely unfortunate. But many players assumed they would get disabled again, and a lot of people were smart and took out all of their most valuable items from their backpacks. I wasn't so lucky because I was on vacation, and when I got back, I couldn't access anything. So here's my theory on how the dupe happened. I was talking to some of my guild members, and then I was also watching a couple YouTube videos about it, and it turns out it could have been because of lobby crashes. Pretty much how I think these people were duping was that they found a way to crash a Skyblock lobby. And if you didn't know, when a lobby crashes, usually the last minute of progress doesn't really save. So what I'm assuming people would do is that they would purposely crash a lobby and then trade their backpacks away. So then when the lobby closes, they get sent to their home island, but then their backpacks are back into their inventory, and then that person they traded the backpacks with also have that backpack with all of those items. That right there is my theory on how I think it works, because I remember in the past there was a couple dupe glitches with the auction house that happened with lobby crashing, but I'm not entirely sure. Just keep this in mind that it is just a theory, and I'm not saying how it really happened. And maybe the real way that it happened will be released to the public eventually. Oh, and also, don't go around trying to dupe. It literally won't do you any good. It'll just get yourself banned, so there's just no point to it. Alright, so yes, backpacks were once again disabled. And I'm actually recording this video on April 11th, and the backpacks are still disabled. It's nearly been a full week that backpacks are not accessible, and that has pissed some people off, let me just tell you. As I said, thousands of people use backpacks for storage, and most people can't really do anything as they have no items to use. If you really want to see how mad people are, just go over to the Hypixel forums and see some of the threads on there. But I want to get into some of the players who have items that are worth billions of coins that are just trapped inside their backpacks. My friend Zach Plays An, who is also a YouTuber, most of you know who he is, he's a big Skyblock guy, but he made a video on how he lost 1.7 billion coins because of the backpacks being disabled. Obviously, he didn't actually lose those items, but for the past couple of days, he wasn't able to touch them. A quick summary on his video is that he is not able to use a lot of his items, and he's also struggling to play Skyblock in general because all of his everyday use items are in those backpacks. Okay, so I'm over here on SkylyMo, and I'm gonna go look at Zach Plays An's Ender Chest. And I just want to show you guys how many backpacks he uses. Oh, and also one more quick thing to note is that Zach actually was lucky enough to take out a lot of his items from his backpacks before the admins did like the second disable. So he got pretty lucky. So for only for like a couple of days he was kind of out of luck. But if we make our way down here to inventory, you can go to the ender chest and just look how many backpacks this guy has. We scroll all the way down. He has so many backpacks. His life on Skyblock, his whole point in life is just backpacks. So specifically for this video, I made a forums post on the Hypixel Skyblock webpage, and I basically asked, what items did you lose? And we have a lot of people who lost a lot of money, and this guy lost 1.3 billion coins in investments. Not technically lost, but this is an investment. If the price for some reason dropped, he would have lost a lot of coins from this. But look how many of these pet skins he has. This right here is a silverfish pet skin, and all it is really a cosmetic, but a lot of people like to have these things, and this is worth 1.3 billion coins, this singular backpack alone. There's a lot of people on here though that troll a lot, and it's actually quite funny. Like this guy right here said, my backpack full of scam IRL trade and duped items. Like, I don't know why people do this, but it's funny. If you ever go on the Hypixel forums, most of it is just a complete troll. This guy named Spun the One apparently lost a lot of good items. It's really hard to see this image, so we'll go over back to Skyly Mo. So we'll just copy his IGN and paste it here, and let's go check out all of his stuff in his backpacks. He has a lot of stuff in these. Oh, look at all this armor. There's so many different armor sets in here. I'm not really sure what is the worth of all of this, but this is a lot of stuff he's lost. He has a full Shadow Assassin armor set in his backpack, and this is a really good armor set. He probably uses this for dungeons, so that means he can't really play any dungeons for a little while. Right here, a guy named Neo Smile basically has all of his stuff in backpacks, and he says he can basically do nothing. All he can really do is AFK on his island and kill mobs. That's basically it. So if we check his Skyly, let's go down to the ender chest. He has a couple mage weapons in here. He also has his spirit scepter, so we can't even play dungeons without this weapon. He has his bows. He has his fishing rod, so we can't even fish. He has his magnetic stonk, so we can't even mine. I know that a lot of people might be thinking that it's not that big of a deal and it probably won't last much longer. But think of how big of an advantage it is over gaining skills, gaining coins, and items. Like, imagine not being able to do dungeons while there's a guy that's been grinding the whole time you haven't been able to. Technically, a lot of these people are losing coins. They just aren't able to progress. I hope this video was a bit informative and enjoyable to watch. If you stuck all the way to the end, then you're just crazy, and thank you so much. There will be some more videos on the screen right now, and see you all later.